think overall we communicated really well and worked well together, and our teamwork was very sufficient in the fact that we listened to each other, and even if we had disagreeing opinions, we worked it through and heard each other out and came to a conclusion that we thought was best for the wildfire simulation in the community of the
Westmount.
Westmount,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, and to go along with that, I think with teamwork, we definitely developed as a team, starting from the Everest simulation, when it was pretty much a disaster, and half of us died, and but then moving on to like week one, where we were doing the majority rules, and then like we as a team came together and realized that this isn't good, and we saw the other team doing like the rock paper scissors, and we were like, oh, we don't want to be we don't want to be like them,
Right.
and we want to be able to make decisions and do it on opinion based and do it factually. I think like the news tabs and social media tabs within the simulation really helped to guide us as a team in order to make these logical and ethical decisions.
I think that we managed conflict very well in the group, because when we switched from the majority rules to just each of us stating which mitigation tactic we thought would work well, if we had disagreements, we all listened to each other and then like made a group decision on which one would be the best, instead of like having huge arguments.
I think like emotional intelligence kind of like played like a big part of our decision-making factor, just because like it let us kind of get to like the thought process of like what we were thinking and our reasoning behind like what we thought our individual strategy would be best, and then we also got to like correlate that to like us as a group as a whole, like, and understand like the other person's perspective on it, and like understand like why they think that would be like the best reasoning to go with like what particular fire mitigation technique.
Yeah, and we weren't just doing it to do the project. We were actually thinking about what's best and wanting to.
I think part of that though was our role morality and like the roles we had to play. Like mine as the mayor, Sam as the water inspector. What were you?
I was the like the CEO? I don't know.
Yeah,
I was the water.
You were in charge of the water.
I was the water guy.
But yeah, all those roles like gave us the standards at which we had to like represent that group and that role that we were assigned, and that definitely played a role in when communicating about what decisions to make on certain aspects of the wildfire simulation.
Yeah.
It was definitely tricky though when at the end when the technology didn't end up working.
That was awful.
Yeah, that was.
I
Because
logged
we
in
were
the night
doing
before.
so well, and I
Yeah.
wanted to see how it was gonna.
I logged in the night before, and it was like, your instructor hasn't advanced you past the round, and my thing just said round one. And I was like, and I emailed Shrum, and I was like, dude, like he was like, oh, that shouldn't be happening. Then we came in class, and just everyone was screwed.
Yeah, in a way, like, the technology era kind of helped us a little bit, because, like, some of the stuff where we did, like, a lot of mitigation, whether it be, like, prescribed burns or, like, any other, like, mechanical or, like, manual thinning, like, we ended up not doing it in some regions, like, especially that were closer to water, so it kind of gave us, like, a fresh start.
Yeah.
Because we got to
Second
see,
look.
yeah, exactly, like, we got to see our mistakes, we're like, oh, like, we should know, like, not to do it close to the water, because we got
that was
bad
on
water
purpose.
reports.
Ooh, did the company
I thought about that as
Maybe
soon
it
as
was like
happened.
him. Maybe he was like acting.
Yeah.
Props to you, Bill.
Bill.
But I think there was also flawed incentive structures throughout the simulation because of the metrics. Like 'cause for certain groups, like you wanted to burn everything, and that would have given you
Yeah.
better metrics. But overall, it would have been bad for the town. And I think it could have been the incentive structures throughout the simulation could have been changed
Yeah,
for the better of the
100%.
town
Yeah.
instead of your role per se.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the beginning we were mainly like focused, like on the first like round, like when we were doing majority rules, like we were primarily focused
Yeah.
on like just incentive structures, like because a lot of us were up for like promotions and everything like that. If like
Yeah,
we got
everyone-
this satisfaction, and but then towards the end, like we kind of put that aside and just like focused on the actual community, like what would benefit the people as a whole.
Yeah, the way we
So
were
that's-
all describing the projects, you wanted to represent your ideal map as
Yeah.
best as you could. But to a certain extent, if you had got your ideal map represented, you would have just ruined that poor town.
Well, I think that kind of was
Part
a
of it,
point,
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
and it had to do with group development in the
Mhm.
sense of
Yeah.
they wanted you to be an individual and you like have your plan, but then you come together and work together to get like the best outcome for the whole
Yeah, that was like a part of like the managing conflict and stuff, like how you have to like compromise and everything in order to do it. You can't be like the authoritarian like person being like my way or the highway kind of
Right.
thing. Like it shows that like you have to give and take with it and like
Yeah, I think the compromising was big, especially when, like, Fender, you wanted to, like, light the entire map on fire.
I also want
And you did too, and then Ben and I were just like,
That's
and then half the
I
time,
was
like,
like,
yours was just like,
no.
I don't really care. And at the beginning, we were just doing, like, because we have that, like, one section of fire, it's like the 4 squares in the top, but I think after we realized what we should be doing in compromising, just like, what's best for the town, what's best for our metrics,
Yeah.
what's gonna be best for our grade, like, when we went through that, like, to show that, like, we actually put time into the simulation and aren't just, just going tooth and nail and just go exactly with our ideal plan.
I think part of that had to do with the psychological distance, though. Like, we weren't actually going to set a town on fire.
Well,
I mean,
you asked like 9 times what would happen if we would light the entire
At
We
the end
wanted
of
to
the- at
see
the
the
end-
entire
at
time.
the end of the day,
Firefighting.
though, it was just a simulation. Like, there
That's
weren't
true.
real
We're not thinking, like,
any.
there's real
we did
people,
kill like a
there's
simulated
animals.
Lynx family, I'm pretty
We
sure.
did?
Because I think we missed it in the
Yeah,
social
they're
media.
dead.
In it.
Yeah, well, there
we
was like,
burned them originally, but after the technology
true.
error, we
Yeah.
fixed it. So
Also
like
the
that
app-
error actually did kind
We
of
brought 'em back
benefit
to
us.
life.
We brought them back. I was gonna say that.
the technology helped me too because we had done a bunch of stuff on the riverbanks, which caused like a bunch of erosion.
Yep.
And I dove the water levels down, and then we
It was-
came back, and
it
I
was-
was like, the water levels are great.
We did a
So-
bunch of mechanical trimming near the water, and that's
Yeah.
what caused the erosion.
That would be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's no bueno.
No.
So honestly, like the technology error did actually end up benefiting us.
Made everyone freak out for
Yeah, like it
like
sucked,
15
but-
minutes, though.
Oh, for
It
sure.
wasn't. It was not ideal.
All right.
Um,
I think overall, it was a good way to, like, it was a good project to implement
yeah.
to teach us everything that we were learning in group interaction because I don't know.
Well, I mean, it brought all of us together to bring in those terms, to bring in those things that were being lectured on, and brought in to make us
Exactly.
practice it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
we realized that, like, we're not just
The
getting lectured about
importance
it,
of
like,
it
these
too.
things aren't just, it's not like a math equation that you're probably never going to use in real life, but all this stuff will, go to your day-to-day lives.
Yeah.
And
Actually interacting with each other.
yeah, exactly.
was like a good
Like being a team.
Most of us are going to go work in teams after school.
Right, and then wildfire
Yeah, so
mitigation
I've
as
done
well.
And of course, I've got a true passion for it now.
Yeah, that was like, yeah.
This is a great like real life example for like the actual workplace and everything because all these conflicts and like contrasting like viewpoints like do occur and like you do have to figure out how to resolve it and you have to figure out like you have to deal with everything like different characters and stuff and personality traits and like everyone's gonna have like a different thought
Beliefs.
process exactly
Yeah.
and like it's a great way to like figure out how to like work around it like work with someone and like kind of get like that communication set up between you so
Agree.
Yeah.
Go team.
Thanks, Bill.
Yeah.